This is Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk. Here are your hosts, Dr. Tim Slecker and Dr. Johnny Lupinacci, educated educators talking education.
Yes, it is. Tim and Johnny, Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk. Educated educators talking education. The number's 855-752-4842. Tuesday afternoon, guests in the house. Johnny, we got a lot of introductions to do tonight.
Yeah, we do. We got a great lineup though, Tim. I can't be more excited for tonight because
be excited. Hey, but quick housekeeping. Tuesday, September 17th is National Voter Registration Day. Plan to check your voter registration then to be sure you're ready for November 5th. Civic media also, Johnny, announcement is getting recombobulated, not discombobulated. Dan Schaefer and his beloved Milwaukee News and Opinion publication, The Recombobulation Area, joins the Civic Media Radio Network. Saw a lot of stuff on social media today there, and actually to put out an invite right away to Dan to say, hey, Dan, you got to come on Busted Pencils, because if you're talking politics in Wisconsin, education and politics always go hand in hand. Sherry for Horicon, seeing you there. Thank you for saying hello, friends. We appreciate you so much all the time. Johnny, we got a lot going on tonight, though.
Oh, yeah.
We have spent, for over a year and a half now, we've talked about the teacher shortage, and there's a national teacher shortage. We said, don't really like that term. It's much more of an exodus. Why are people leaving the profession? But where are there those places that are doing something about it other than saying, oh, we've got a problem, we've got an emergency? We first brought together some guests from Austin Peay State University in Tennessee doing the teacher apprenticeship. We then got Western Michigan University on board and their program that they're doing with the Grow Your Own. And now, man, coming back, Johnny, colleagues. Hey, I used to be the dean of the School of Education from where this place is. We're talking about Edgewood College in the city of Madison Metropolitan School District together. Partnership, growing their own, looking at putting together a teacher residency program and going after special education. Our guests, Michael Meisen, Nancy Molfenter, and Amy Hefty, everybody here. Welcome to Busted Pencils team. How's everybody going? Mike Meisen, you're up first.
Thank you, Dr. Tim and Dr. Johnny, for hosting us. It's our privilege to be able to talk a little bit about what we're doing here at Edgewood College. As you know, we're located in the capital city. We are mission driven around one key pillar is partnerships. We've been preparing teachers since 1927, and we think that we're positioned well to restore a teacher pipeline and help develop a deep, diverse, and talented teacher pool. We couldn't do it without local school districts and other organizations, and so I'm glad that part of our team are some key leaders from Madison Metropolitan School District, Nancy and Amy.
Nice. Michael, appreciate you talking and kicking in. Again, I was there. I get to say this too, Johnny. Guess what? I hired Mike. I was the person who hired Mike Meisen. Believe that or not. People are looking, going like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I had some pull back in the day, Johnny.
I mean, you're the former dean of the college there. But what a beautiful campus, y'all. I got to see it when I came to Madison, and wow, I was like, this is a gorgeous spot to be working with teachers and to be so close to so many supporters of education. Thanks for what you do, Mike. And we've got like a rotation of excellent people tonight, Tim.
I know. I was gonna say, and we got Nancy and Amy both from Madison Metropolitan. Nancy, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. We had the privilege, Amy and I had the privilege today of welcoming our secondary special education staff to professional learning and spending time with them. I have to say that we appreciate the partnership with Edgewood College immensely. Mike, your work and just talking with us about what's happening in our school district and specifically in special education. So I'm happy to be here. My title in the school district is Associate Superintendent of Student Services. And so I lead special education across the district from our early childhood learners all the way through transition services. And I'm happy to be here talking about what we can do about the fact that we don't always get enough special education candidates for the positions that we have. So thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thanks for that introduction. And Amy from Madison Metropolitan School District. Amy, welcome to Busted Pencils.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I get the privilege of saying that not only do I work for the Madison Metropolitan School District, but I also work for Edgewood College. So I better smile and be happy because I have two bosses on this phone call.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I am Nancy is the associate superintendent, and I am one of the assistant directors of special education for the Madison Metropolitan School District. Currently working with the West Side Elementary School. So I oversee and support special education in our 16 West Side elementary schools. And I also do a lot with our professional development for all of our special education assistants, related service providers, and our cross-categorical teachers, which is how we refer to special education teachers in Madison.
Yeah. Well, there's the team, Michael, Nancy, and Amy. Welcome to Busted Pencils. Yeah, fully leaded education talk, educated educators talking education. Holy crap, educated educators talking education times 2, times 3, times 4, whole bunches of people. All right, so teacher shortage, though, too, talking about this. So very specifically, Madison. Now, my last year in Madison as the dean, it was 2020, and this is, right at the COVID. And I just brought in Mike, and we had just started talking about, how do we work in partnership with Madison School District? Because even then there was a shortage with special education teachers, and we're trying to figure this out. Like, how do we do this? Nancy, I wonder if you could just, from that standpoint, I mean, what are the challenges pre this partnership, before you get into this partnership? How hard was it to get special education teachers?
Sure. Yep. Thank you very much for that question. So prior to the pandemic, so prior to 2020, we had entered a period for approximately 3 to 5 years where we had fewer candidates applying than we had positions. We've had people in the field retiring at a higher rate over these last 5 to 10 years than people coming into the field. So part of it is workers and just workers in general. But then also the pandemic, we saw a lot of retirements. And so every year now, our average for the past few years is that we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 positions in special education for teachers vacant at the start of the school year. So that's the level of challenge we've been facing.
So every year, starting off with about 10 to 15 openings right there that have not been filled. So you're coming into this. So there we go, setting up right there. Truly, this is where somebody will say, Tim, I told you it's a shortage. See, they don't have enough teachers. I always agreed that they don't have enough teachers. We know that. But the challenge is very specifically, though, too, coming in this. But how do we address that issue? And what I'm hearing here from you all, Mike, you might want to jump in here, was this concept of saying, wait a minute, we at Edgewood Teacher Preparation, in combination, in partnership with the district, Madison Metropolitan School District, why don't we put our heads together to try to figure out how to do this? Mike, tell me a little bit more about the partnership and the idea behind it.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Tim. And I think when I traced a quick history here, we characterized the guiding principle behind this work was joining forces. So the whole idea of coming together. We tried to initiate an effort to reach out to all of the private school leaders and public school leaders statewide. And we started asking a key question, not supposing that we had all the answers, but kind of having a conversation. Like, what is your current state? What is your reality? We think there's a teacher shortage. What are your needs? Where are the gaps? And how can we address those things? And out of that came this idea there's probably people out there that our entry position was to address issues of time, and so the accelerated nature of this graduate program, and also cost. And so then we really threw a wide net. We were looking at any and all partners that we could have. We were trying to establish statewide reach. And we're always open for more and more school districts to participate with us. Our current number is just under 50 schools. A vast majority, in South Central, some out in Southeast, some in the Northwest quadrant of the state. We're excited about a partnership with the Wisconsin National Guard. So service members in both the Army and the Air Force that may be interested in re-careering and preparing to be in the classroom. And kind of one of the practical features of this is that with costs on tuition, partnership districts, their employees enjoy a tuition break of about 50%. And we really kind of want to see this as a phased over time approach. We see this as an entry level position. The thinking is that the shortage has been there. It's not going to go away anytime soon. We want to, really be kind of a talent developing partner with all of these school districts. And so naturally, we're neighbors to Madison Metropolitan School District. I think there's licensed staff of over 3,000 employees. And, we're here to serve and live our mission with partnerships. And this is kind of hopefully phase one of a long-term effort to keep it rolling.
Nice. Mike Meisen, Nancy Molfenter, Amy Hefty, Madison Metropolitan School District, Edgewood College, teacher shortage, grow your own, special education. Man, we just getting us started here. When we come back, though, we're going to get into this. Who are the grow your own candidates? More when we get back.
Is it for the money? No, it isn't for the fun. It's a plan, a scam, a diagram. It's for the benefit of everyone. You gotta have a little respect. Subterranean idea.
There it is. Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk. Educated educators talking education, talking Wisconsin, talking the city of Madison, Edgewood College, Madison Metropolitan School District, teacher shortage, Johnny Lupinacci. What we love about this on Busted Pencils is bringing forward these, innovative ways to say, wait a minute, teacher shortage, we have a solution. We have a solution if people are just willing to listen. Amy, from your
Hi.
stand, how are you? Sorry we didn't get to you on the first part, but we're here now. So, Amy, you're listening to Nancy and Mike. Is in your position here too. Now, tell me where you really see the positive kind of connection. What is it about? Because you said you got both of your bosses here. How does this
Yeah.
partnership come together? What makes it work?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The reason I first started teaching at Edgewood College was because we had such a teacher shortage. And my ulterior motive, Mike, cover your ears, was to go in and steal all the student teachers and convince them to work for our district, because that would just make my job easier. When this opportunity came about, it was the perfect opportunity for us to start speaking in the community. Like, people would say, hey, I'm interested in becoming a teacher. I've thought about it. I'm not in a place in my life where I really want to go back to school full time. And this is just the perfect opportunity for us to get those people in the classroom, get them teaching, and get them through an adult accelerated program in a way that works with their lifestyles.
So my understanding then is that what you're saying is, so you start the year with the shortage, and then the candidates who are going to go into this program, you're hiring them on a temporary license or an emergency license so that they can be in the classroom, and then they're agreeing to go back to school full time at Edgewood College to get their license while they're working full time for the district. And that's where, and Mike, I think you were talking about this, the accelerated nature of the coursework, and it's fully online and fully asynchronous. And you were saying it's discounted, but then I think with the partnership here, Nancy, there's an even better financial incentive for these Madison Grow Your Own candidates.
That's correct. In the Madison Metropolitan School District, if a teacher candidate has agreed to return to school to complete the license at Edgewood College and work for us as a special education teacher, the Student Services Department will reimburse them $1,000 for every 3-credit class. And that's the amazing thing about this partnership, is that the cost is $1,000 per 3-credit course. And so all of their costs are being reimbursed. We get great special education teachers who are being taught by wonderful professionals, including Amy and Mike. And we also provide them with that financial incentive. So it's a win-win-win for all of us.
Nice. Johnny Lupinacci, what are you thinking about this Grow Your Own program, man?
Well, Tim, you know what, man? Whether it's tomatoes, other things that we may use recreationally or medicinally, I'm a big fan of Grow Your Own, especially when it comes to teachers, and especially in great places like Madison. It's so important, right? I mean, we talked about there is a teacher shortage, but Tim, you've said it before too. More than there being a teacher shortage, it's just really hard to keep the conditions of teaching are really difficult. Right. So like retaining teachers, making sure that we're supporting, especially our special education teachers who are doing, like, they're spread so thin. Right. So any way that we can get people out there in the community who have thought at some point in their life, you know what, I'd be a great teacher, and we get them an avenue and a pathway into being teachers, it's a win-win, because we need really great teachers. But we also know that by bringing in really great teachers who have diverse backgrounds and who have that calling, they're going to stay doing it for a really long time. So it's just an improvement all the way across the board. And man, I'm still stoked because one of my favorite things came up tonight. Michael shared it. He said, this is really about, building a connection, not having the answers, but it's about community building. And there's this level of humility we talk about that's so important in solving these problems. Like, what do we do about the teacher shortage? Well, the first thing we do is we sit down together and figure out what we can do. We get creative and we bring some innovation to that. And so I love these Grow Your Own programs. Tim, I'm a big fan.
I know.
I'm stoked to see some Madison folks here. Our listeners, so many Madison folks, so many Wisconsin people. So excited to hear about the great things that Michael, Nancy, and Amy are doing with all those great Grow Your Own folks.
So when we do this type of work, Amy, I mean, this is the first cohort of Grow Your Owns this fall, correct? Tell me a little bit, like, where did they come from? How did you figure out? Did they pick? How many were there? Give me some details.
Yeah, so I believe that it actually started last fall. So we're going into our second round of people starting. The great thing about the program with Edgewood is it starts every 8 weeks, so you don't have to wait a full year. But the Grow Your Own people come from our HR recruiting. Sometimes it's people that get recommended. Really anybody who's within our system that is working for us and wants to improve their education and work with special education is eligible to be in the Grow Your Own program. So we just ask that they maintain I think it's a B or above average.
So now we've heard this, you said Western Michigan University over in Kalamazoo is doing this, Austin P State down in Clarksville, Montgomery County in Tennessee. These are the places we focused on. And yours is again a little bit different, but they all center around this idea that the candidates are fully immersed in a classroom setting during this time. And in fact, what makes the Madison Edgewood College partnership, the Madison Metropolitan School District Edgewood College, is that in Wisconsin for this special education, these are people then they already must do they already have to have some form of a bachelor's degree at this point? Okay. So they're coming in and they are then hired as the special education teacher of record as an emergency teacher. So that's their full-time experience then that puts them into that classroom. How about their I'm wondering with Amy and Nancy, what is the Madison Metropolitan School District's commitment to mentoring these candidates?
Good one.
We have a really strong mentorship program. So our new teachers get mentors automatically. We also in our district work with our program support teacher program. So all of our schools have a program support teacher who not only does initial evaluations, but also is responsible for helping to mentor and guide our new teachers.
Mm. So lots of support, and this is I say we keep hearing this is because, man, there's a lot of work there. I'm just thinking about this, imagining. So full time, I don't have a teaching license. I'm in a classroom. I've got a mentor. I've got to take classes online, fully asynchronous. Man, we got some more other commitments there that we have to talk about because, Mike, where are the faculty coming to teach these courses like that, and how are we preparing them and getting them ready? It's Busted Pencils, man. Loving this. Edgewood College, Madison Metropolitan School District. Grow your own partnership, special education. Call us back with some questions.
What are we doing this for? The cause. We're just doing it for the cause. The cause. We're just doing it for the cause.
One of my favorite Rise Against songs, Miracles, Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk, educated educators talking education. Is it a miracle we're talking about here? This grow your own partnership with Edgewood College, Madison Metropolitan School District, grow your own special education teachers, getting them in there in the classroom, fully ready to go. Nancy, I was wondering if you could talk about a little bit more too about the candidates. And we were beyond, during the break, anybody getting the bonus content, they already got to hear some of this, but you're coming into, the question is to how does somebody potentially do they approach you if they're interested? Tell me, I'm just wondering, and we're going to do this before you guys leave here at the end of this segment. We're going to give you a lot of time. But just even right now, if there's somebody out there sitting there going, I didn't know about this and I would like to, like Nancy, how do they get started?
Absolutely. So there's a couple different ways to get started. One of them is to reach out to me, Nancy Molfenter, at the Madison Metropolitan School District in Student Services. I have an email, I have a phone number, happy to provide it. Or they can also apply to work at the Madison Metropolitan School District. If someone has a bachelor's degree in any field, they can apply to our special education CC teacher pool, and then they can let our human resources department know that they have a bachelor's degree, they want to become a special education teacher. They work with me to sign up for the Grow Our Own program in Madison so that they can get reimbursed for their classes. I send them the information about the Edgewood College accelerated program and get them in touch with Mike, and he gets them set up there. And then before you know it, They are teaching as a special education teacher, making a teacher salary. They are taking classes at Edgewood. And the way it works in Wisconsin is that a person on a provisional license has 3 years to finish. So they can definitely finish a lot sooner than that, but the state gives them up to 3 years. They can work as a special education teacher that entire time. And I would say approximately half of our special education teachers in the Grow Our Own program with Edgewood College right now started out as paraprofessionals in our school district. And so they got some experience, and then somebody said, hey, you'd make a great teacher. And we got them into the program.
See, that's the part too. I love this. Johnny, you know this when I come at this, the whole idea of the teacher shortage. You hear this in there. It's like, where are our next teachers going to come from? Well, they're right in front of us. They're with us every day. They're in our schools. They're there, which is said before these innovations and these partnerships, a lot of people were there saying, but I don't have time. I can't take classes during the day. I'm working at the school full time. I can't take off. I don't know that I can ever afford it. But what I'm hearing and again, this grow your own program is that, wait, we're addressing that you're concerned. Well, guess what? You can have a full-time job with us. How's that going to work out? You know what? You need classes? Well, we've got a partner in Edgewood College. We can get you the classes accelerated full-time online, that way too, so that you don't have to quote miss class different times. You could take them when you're able to put them together. And then you've got together then the whole idea of then a mentored support system of people in there supporting these candidates as they go through, and they have up to 3 years. And Mike, you're saying the end of this then is special education licensure, and do they also get a graduate degree?
Yeah, I mean, we've built multiple pathways. One leads to licensure only, which is turns out to be 24 credits, 8 3-credit courses, and then it's a 30-credit master's degree program. So a good number of the candidates that take this pathway are interested in the master's degree because the system sort of reinforces and incentivizes a degree of that nature. I know Madison does. And I know we've been given a lot of focus too to the critical need in special education. This particular partnership that we have with Madison and is offered to any other schools across the state includes candidates out there that want to become elementary education licensed, so elementary or middle candidates, secondary, which is now grades 4 through 12. And then also in Madison, we have ESL bilingual partnership, similar kind of program, which, gets at all of the needs there.
Whoa, there it is, the bell. Every day on Busted Pencils, that bell rings, and you know what it means, Tim and listener. I know listeners know what it means. Today's democracy in action recognition. We always choose every day some recognition of democracy in action, core democratic values in action in education. I gotta say, it's a no-brainer. Today's democracy in action recognition goes to this Grow Your Own team. Michael, Amy, Nancy, all of the folks working together in the group.
That category right there, that grow your own category. Yeah, Amy, Nancy, Mike, you guys are our democracy. And Johnny, you back, man, to finish that up?
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't know that I went away, so I don't know what happened here. But, core democratic value, democracy in action today is common good. The team coming together. Citizens should always work together for the good of all. Right? Everyone in the government that makes laws are good for all. So here we have a partnership between so many institutions and moving parts that is making it possible to bring great folks into classrooms. And that's what every kid in this country deserves, right? Is a really great teacher. So having that kind of resource and teamwork around that is democracy in action.
Nice. Congratulations, team. You guys get the Democracy in Action Award, Busted Pencils. Amy, was wondering too, like when the candidates, there's also, you had talked about this during the break, a commitment to also saying like, diversity.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in Madison and across the country, there's just a strong belief and understanding that kids deserve to see themselves represented in the teaching courses and the teachers that teach them. And so, historically, we have had a largely white teaching population, and we found through some of these grow your own programs, we've been able to diversify our teaching force, provide opportunities for education for people who maybe have been marginalized in the past. And so it's just really been a great boon to us to be able to have a more diverse teaching force in Madison. And we really believe that that partnership where paraprofessionals or SEAs are able to then get teaching license, that will further diversify our teaching force.
Yeah, and see, that's the part too. And I talked about this, some of the early work when I was at Edgewood College, we were trying some grow your own programs. And we really were coming at this from the idea of saying, well, if diversity is a goal, well, then guess what? The students and the families and the people who live in our communities, well, there's already a diversity there. How do we provide those, our residents, our people who already work here, our people who already live here? How do we give them the ability to come into a classroom? Because if we're looking to create the classroom of teachers that look like and have the values and see the world the way our children do, well, then they're already right here. They're already in our districts. They're already our, as we point out on this show, they're already our neighbors. Nancy, does that sound about kind of what you guys are trying to do here?
110%. Yes, we have, as you said earlier, amazing people already in our community, already in our schools, not only our paraprofessionals, but also family members. And we have students, well, I'm going to say this differently, former students who graduated from one of our Madison high schools that come back and they work as paraprofessionals, and then they want to become teachers, and then we can support them to do that through this amazing partnership. So yes, 100%. Madison is an incredible city, and we know that we can fill the needs that we have in our schools and our students with the people in our community, and we're just trying to support them.
You know,
And I think
maybe
it's
go ahead,
important,
Amy.
sorry to interrupt. I think it's important to note, because I know that you had an interview with our current superintendent, who was superintendent of the year last year, that he actually started out as a paraprofessional in our district.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we had Joe Gothard on a few weeks ago, brought him in there. In fact, he was the second time on Busted Pencils. I actually was able to interview him back in 2018 when he was at St. Paul and got that. But now that he is back home, and talk about truly a grow your own home story right there. Grew up in Madison, graduated from a Madison high school, then comes back as a paraprofessional, and then gets his teaching license, goes to Edgewood College, gets all of his administrative licenses, serves as a principal, serves as an administrator, goes up to St. Paul to become the superintendent, and now this year comes all the way back. That's a grow your own story right there, if you've ever heard one. Nancy, you guys see you got some enthusiastic nodding.
Absolutely. We're so thrilled to have Dr. Joe Gothard back in Madison as our superintendent. And he inspires, right? He inspires our staff to think about what they can become and how they can help impact positively the lives of students and families in our school district and community.
You made me think of one other thing, though, too, as you were talking about this from the grow your own. You're saying, from coming, like, our kids are graduating high school, and Amy and Mike, maybe you might want to talk about this, but this program specifically right now, we've been talking about it for people who already have a bachelor's degree and they're going to get into a graduate program. Is there any talks or thoughts or innovations on the way that might be saying, okay, what about somebody who doesn't have a bachelor's degree yet? What are we going to do about them?
That
So
has been,
go ahead, Mike, you go.
no, I was just gonna quickly say that's coming to fruition here. We've been in the process, our team, Dr. Lukey has spearheaded that effort in the Division of Ed, and coming out with a program for just that. Candidates that want to work with children in the classroom that do not have a BA. So an undergraduate degree, try to have a learning format that allows a combination of some some on campus, but as well as, online at a discounted rate through these partnerships. And we hope to have something like that ready for serious launch in the spring semester of this school year.
Nice. Amy, you had some thoughts on that too.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's an amazing opportunity to help students who maybe traditionally wouldn't be able to pay for straight out college. They're able to come and work with us and do some partnership with Edgewood and then become teachers like they want to be.
Mm. Wow, so much going on there. Just think about this. It's so exciting because, this is, you say, the innovation, the partnership, bringing people together. So now I'm out there. Listeners are out there. They're going, I want to know more. Where do I go? Where do I find out stuff? I'm going to go around the horn, and everybody says. So Nancy, I know you gave us some things. We're going to put it in the podcast. But Nancy, where do they go to find you?
They come to the Madison Metropolitan School District website and they search for Nancy Molfenter, Student Services. They will get my email address, which is nfmolfenter, MOLFENTER, at madison.k12.wi.us. Or they can apply to work as a paraprofessional or SEA, special education assistant, or special education teacher. And in Madison, we also help reimburse classes for people to work toward their bachelor's degree. So, Mike, I'm looking forward to that partnership coming soon with Edgewood.
And I got we got Mike's email here. We're going to make sure we have that, Mike. And you said you've got a little bit of some literature that we're going to put in the podcast right out there. And Amy, you've got your email put in right here. So the chat is ready. Man, you guys, Amy, Michael, Nancy, grow your own, Edgewood College, Madison Metropolitan School District. You guys are truly busting pencils. Johnny and Tim breaking it down when we get back. I don't know which way, one way or the other. Who knows? Busted pencils. It's fully leaded education talk. Educated educators talking education. The number's 855-752-4842. Just had a great team from Edgewood College, Madison Metropolitan School District. Again, coming after the teacher shortage. Johnny, this grow your own concept of finding people who are in the districts and creating the opportunity to give them access to the education they need and the support that they need to get this license. This to me is just one of these hopeful stories where we keep hearing of going like, man, you put together a team of great people who want to do great things, and man, they surely can do it.
Well, yeah, Tim, it just has to, it's 2024, right? And we've talked about this on a number of things. You just have to be open to change. And in fact, some of the things that we call a shortage are there because we've done things the same way over and over again, and we realize that they don't work, right? But that means we have to change. We have to be creative. We have to be innovative with that. And with that also means we have to be accessible. And nothing against the kinds of programs. Like I get to work with amazing young teachers. Many of them came to college, traditionally after high school, and they're at a program and a pathway towards a career that works for that group of young people who are going out to teach, right? But what we know is that there are many people in our communities. In fact, we teach young people all the time. You're probably going to change careers in your life. You're going to learn more about what you're great at and what you love to do and how to share those skills in your community. And so I would like to say, by and large, historically, becoming a teacher after doing something else has been really difficult, if not completely inaccessible for
Right.
so many great educators. And so these grow your own programs show us that you can sit down with, different stakeholders and figure out we're going to do this differently. In fact, we're going to make it possible for people who would like to be teachers to get really good at it, have support, and have licensure to be teachers wherever they're at in their careers. Maybe I'm a plumber and I really love the aspect of having an apprentice and teaching, all the ins and outs of codes and the aspects of like, you don't always sweat pipes anymore. But back when I was learning to plumb, you had to, use a torch and sweat pipes. And I had some of the best teachers of my life in the trades. And I remember thinking, man, if only they could be classroom teachers. And, they would say like, nah, I didn't go to school, or I'm not going back to school. Y'all have to go like every day, 5 days a week. I can't leave, a good high paying job. I got a mortgage, I got all these things. Can't just drop everything you're doing and be a college student. Well, that is reality for so many amazing people in our communities, whether they're coaches, whether they're classroom aides, parapros, parents, like endless. I can go on and on. We're finally figuring out ways to be creative and supportive and inclusive and make it accessible for people to become great teachers. And this is exciting, Tim. So I love when we have grow your own folks on. I especially love when we have people, Tim, that we know in the Wisconsin community are doing work, because I know our listeners are probably less than 1 degree of separation away from our guests tonight. So that's always a really fun and exciting thing.
Yeah, you think about that, right? Because we have focused on Tennessee, we focused on Michigan, and because we want to make sure that we're bringing those stories wherever they're happening. But we know the home base here, Civic Media in Wisconsin, and making sure. And we know so many people out there. And I'm like, I know there's got to be some people out there doing this work, and and so yeah, they are. There they are.
Well, and for the listener.
Go ahead, John.
For the listener out there, man, like if you want to loop back, go to the Civic Media webpage. June 27th show had guest Samantha Todd from Western Michigan, a grow your own program. April 2nd, you go into the Civic Media, Busted Pencils page. You can scroll through, go to April 2nd. Julian Vasquez Helig and Laura Deinhardt, right, came on from Western Michigan talking about that program. And then we referenced it tonight, right? Madison's own superintendent, right?
Yeah.
Is it Dr. Joe Gothard, right?
Dr. Joe Gothard.
Yeah, great interview with him. So lots of good stuff, lots of ways to get at it. Tim, it's only Tuesday.
I know. It's only Tuesday.
Wow.
I gotta say, and I'm already getting some thank yous and emails back from the team that just got off the show right now. They're sending me stuff.
What a great team, man! What a great team.
And Mike Meisen, I've got all the connection information. So anybody listening, going, man, I missed it. I don't know how to get in touch with anybody there. Don't worry, just check it out. Podcast goes up here later tonight, tomorrow morning. We will have all the information for anybody who's interested. Because you got to say too, and if you're saying, but I'm not in the Madison area, I'm listening to Busted Pencils way up in Hayward, Wisconsin right now. That's okay. What Mike was saying is that with this being a fully online program, Edgewood College is also entertaining. There could be partners all across the state that want to get into this grow your own program. So what we were doing tonight was just highlighting the partnership with Madison Metropolitan School District and Edgewood College. But if you're out there listening, yeah, you're up in Bayfield, Wisconsin right now listening to the show. You're in Green Bay listening and saying, boy, this sounds like a great idea. Hey, get in touch, download the show tonight later on when it's up. Check out all the information, Mike Meisen. You'll be able to send him for information about how to develop one of these grow your own pipelines, talent pipelines, Johnny. They're growing right there when they put that together like that.
Well, you know what, Tim? I'm excited because it's just talking with great educators. It's educated educators talking education. Listener, tomorrow, Educators Amplified. We love Teacher Hallie, Teacher Joanna, chopping it up with Tim and I. So join us for that. Thursday, the Wisconsin Public Educators Network, right? So we've got a week of just amazing educators on here chopping it up with us. Listener, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. This is Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk. Yeah.
Man, school's out for summer? No, school's back in. See y'all tomorrow.